Welcome to IFO Classroom Season 4. In this season, we'll bring to you classes from the top university in Wales, the land of the dragons. In this season, we will have Cardiff University, University of South Wales, Cardiff Metropolitan University, Bangor University, Glendair University, Swansea University, University of Wales Trinity Saint David, and Aberystwyth University. In this season of IFO Classroom, we together will study so many different subjects, from design to marketing to even AI and so much more. If you are interested in studying in Wales or simply just want to experience the classroom abroad, tune in at 8 p.m. every Tuesday on IFO Facebook and YouTube. And right now, live from Wales.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of IFO Classroom Season 4 Live from Wales. I can't believe that it is already the last episode of the season, and as I've done this challenge at the beginning of the season, I would like to challenge myself once again to read the 8 university in Wales in just 10 seconds, and let's see if I could break my record from the last time. So here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Cardiff Metropolitan University, University of South Wales, University of Wales Trinity Saint David, Cardiff University, Aberystwyth University, Swansea University, Bangor University, and Glendair University. Wow, that was 12 seconds. It wasn't as good as last time where I barely hit 10 seconds. But say it's 8 university, 8 great places in Wales that we got to explore during the last season, and I can't believe that the last 7 episodes has gone by so quick, just like that, as I just read off the university names. Throughout the season, we together have got to experience the different majors through the live classroom from Wales, and it was amazing for me, and I think that our audiences and our students also benefited quite a lot from that. Not only were the 10 to 15 students in every class, but there were also thousands of them watching us and following our live classroom from all across Vietnam, and we are really honored and really appreciate your time to spend with us, to really join in this journey with us to explore Wales. So today, in our last episode of the season, we will get to meet different representatives from different universities in Wales once again to learn more and debunk the myths of studying in Wales. So right now, live from Wales, let's meet our first guest. So our first guest of the episode today is Mr. Bill Burson, the Market Development Manager in Vietnam for different university in Wales. He has been one that has been the backbone of our show, of this IFO Classroom Season 4, and we're very happy to have you here on this episode. As one that have been following every single episode of the season, how do you feel about Vietnamese students and seeing that our Live from Wales classroom has turned out to be?
Thank you. Yeah, I've been really impressed by our Vietnamese students. I love how enthusiastic they are, and I love how much they know about the subject. It's been really exciting to see the kind of questions they've asked our teachers when they've had the chance to learn from them. So they're not just sitting and learning, they're also challenging themselves. So it's exactly how we want to see students react when they come to Wales. We want them to see them not just being interested in the subject, but being passionate about it as well, and really not just being passive participants in their learning, but driving the learning forward as well. So it's been really great to watch.
Yes, thank you so much, Bill. And it's also thanks to the teachers, the lecturers that you've brought with us, because they've created a classroom that is so engaging. The students just can't help but actively participate in it. So without further ado, I'll leave the stage to you to take us through Wales, enlighten us about the lives over there, how studying in Wales is going to be, and just a little bit more about the beautiful place that you come from.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, so my name is Bill, and I work for Global Wales, which is a project that we deliver to help universities in Wales connect with people in Vietnam, whether that's to do research or to do joint teaching or to help people understand what it's like to study in Wales. So I'm going to quickly tell you about Wales, but before I do that, I wanted to ask some questions because I know everyone is interested in studying abroad and they're obviously going to be experts on geography. So looking at the 6 pictures on the screen now, does anyone want to guess where those pictures might have been taken? What, one for each number.
I'm taking a very wild guess, but all of these pictures were taken in Wales, but in different parts of Wales. The first one looks very, I don't want to use the word royal because it's very stereotypical and very UK stereotypical, but it looks gorgeous with the architecture. The second picture look like is shoot at a shore, like a beach.
Yep.
The third one looks like is at a festival. I'm not sure. My screen is quite small, and is it Christmas?
Not quite. No.
Not quite. The fourth one is they're in the snow, so probably they're. Can't say Iceland, can I?
Maybe. I'll tell you at the end.
I don't know about the fifth, but I know the sixth is in a stadium.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you were right at the very beginning, and the answer is all the pictures were taken in Wales. They're all different spots of Wales, all around different parts of Wales, close to where we have universities. So I wanted to sort of highlight here that Wales is really quite a small country, but there's so many different things in it you can enjoy, and depending on what your lifestyle interests are or what your study interests are, you'll find something to do. So yeah, the first picture is northwest Wales in a town called Portmeirion. The second picture is a beach near where I was born, actually, called Barafundle Bay. The third picture is of a spiritual retreat in South Wales. The fourth one is of a national park in Wales called Snowdonia or Arwyddfa. The fifth one is Cardiff, which is our capital city. And the sixth picture is of Wrexham Football Club Stadium. And that'll be something we come back to later on. So really good effort. And like I said, a great way to understand just how much Wales can kind of be different as you travel through it. Within the context then of the UK, I'm sure you all know this, but Wales is one of 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom, along with Scotland, Northern Ireland and England. And as you might already know as well, each has its own history and language, and Wales in particular has its own language, which is Welsh, which quite a lot of people speak, including myself. But you don't have to be able to speak Welsh to study in Wales. Everyone will teach and speak in English if you want them to. But it is, it is on offer there as a way to broaden your kind of learning experience. If you want to learn learn Welsh while you're in Wales as a student, you can do so. And just to give you an idea of scale, in terms of the actual size of the country, the UK is about 2/3 the size of Vietnam, and Wales is about 6% the size of Vietnam. So just to give you an idea of the difference in size. Looking then at Wales in the context of all of Europe and the wider world, as you can see there, we're in the kind of west of Europe. Like I said, very easy to get around. To get to London from Cardiff, for example, is only 2 hours on a train, but you can get to any of the UK major cities quite easily through public transport or even short-haul flights. As well as that, you can fly to the rest of Europe pretty inexpensively, for maybe a couple of $100 at the most. You can fly to all these great cities. And like I'd say, if you're going to be in this part of the world studying for some time, I would definitely make the most of it and see what you can make out of that experience by travelling not just around Wales, but also the UK and further afield. In terms of how we relate to the rest of the UK, Wales is a country within it, but we do have a government which is slightly devolved, and we do have some regulation powers that are different in England and Wales. So for example, how we deal with healthcare is quite different, and how we've approached the pandemic has been quite different. So Wales has maybe been a lot more cautious than, say, England and that kind of thing. What else is important to know? Oh yeah, weather. Everyone wants to know about the weather. So it's a temperate, seasonal weather, so it changes throughout the year and changes quite often throughout the day. But in the winter, Wales is maybe 10 degrees centigrade, 50 Fahrenheit on average, although it can get a little bit colder. We do get snow and ice a lot in the winter. And similarly, in the summer, it can go up to 21, 68 Fahrenheit on average, but it does get warmer than that as well. But the days when you get sunburn or frostbitten are pretty few and far between. It's a very kind of pleasant, livable climate all the time. And it's obviously, as well as being easy to get here from Europe and to and from Europe, there are flights that fly there directly into London or Manchester, or connecting flights that go via other airports into Wales. So it's very easy to get to and from Vietnam as well. And just to illustrate my point about the size of Wales, those 6 pictures I showed you earlier, this is where they are on the map. So you could wake up in the morning at picture number 5 if you study in Cardiff, and by the middle of the afternoon you could be in picture number, number 4 up in North Wales climbing a mountain, and come back again in the same day if you really wanted to, because you can see it's only to cover all those locations about not quite 12 hours. So it's very easy to get around. I think I'll skip ahead to the next slide just so people know a bit more about where we are. And I'll ask some more questions if that's okay, because I want to know if you've ever seen Wales before, or if you think you might have seen it before, or maybe you think you haven't. So a little quiz question. According to, the fictional stories, where does Sherlock Holmes live? In which city? Can you see a little clue in that picture?
That's London, right? With the Big Ben behind?
Right, correct. So Sherlock Holmes is, a citizen of London, and this TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch is very, very popular. Mm-hmm. But what most people don't know is, even though it's set in London, it was actually filmed predominantly in Wales and in Cardiff. Oh. Yeah, and a lot of the buildings you see in the programme are actually university buildings as well. So some of the plot points in the film actually relate to different buildings around the universities in Cardiff. Similarly, films like Batman and even Harry Potter have been filmed in Wales, either in part or more so. So there's a very famous Harry Potter scene where one of the characters, I don't want to do any spoilers, dies, but that was filmed in Wales. You can go and visit that character's grave. It's quite poignant. Maybe the top left picture is one that people might not know about. So I don't know if you can see in the picture clearly, but that's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. 2 very famous actors. Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to guess what their connection to Wales is?
They're both fans of a football team, soccer team.
Perfect. That's right. Well, not just fans, they actually have bought a soccer team in North Wales, Wrexham Football Club. So that stadium I showed you earlier, they bought it a couple of years ago. They've invested money into the club, and they're also they're also making a Netflix documentary about how it is to sort of manage this football team, which will be released in the next year or 2. So, they're fairly regular visitors to Wales at the moment. And also, interestingly, Rob McElhenney is learning Welsh, and you can find videos of him online speaking the Welsh language, and he's been practicing. It's really impressive, actually. And then finally, everyone, I think, knows that Lord of the Rings is filmed in New Zealand. But in case you were wondering why I've included that picture, it's because if you might not have known it, but you might have heard Welsh or a similar language to Welsh before, because when the writer J.R. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, he based the language of the elves on the Welsh language. So even if you think you don't know anything about Wales, the chances are through either a film programme or a TV series or a book, you might have had some connection with it already. Okay, so I'll move on. Now, I won't talk in a lot of detail about all of our different universities. We already mentioned there's 8 of them in Wales, and we'll have our representatives talking about our universities before too long. But I do want to say that we offer a really broad choice of university for students. So no matter what you're interested in academically, there will be a university that you can apply to, rather. So whether you're interested in living in a city or living somewhere more rural and quieter, whether you want to go and live on the coast, whether you want to go to a big university, a small university, a Russell Group university, a research-focused university, or a university that's more about developing practical learning skills, basically no matter what your academic interest is or your lifestyle interests are, we have a broad enough range of universities that there should be something for everyone. And it's really important that you consider not just the academic side of it, but also how you're going to live and how you're going to enjoy your time while you study in Wales. So I'll talk about that a little bit more. It's important to say as well that living in Wales, as well as being readily connected to the rest of the UK and Europe, is significantly cheaper than living in other parts of the UK as well. I know everyone has to think long and hard about making the decision to study overseas and come to almost the other side of the world. And the costs of that are something you have to think about. So it's worth knowing that, in a lot of cases, our tuition fees are lower in Wales. And as well as that, the costs of living, particularly compared to some of the big cities in the UK, like, for example, London, can be several times cheaper in Wales. And you can see the figures there about what the tuition fees are, between $14,000 and $28,000 a year, so maybe £12,000 to £23,000, and with costs of living included on top of that, ranging from about £25,000 to £32,000 up to $50,000, say. it's significantly a cheaper option to study in Wales than perhaps other parts of the UK. So that hopefully will help you make that decision. And similarly, we offer, you know, a range of student housing, and we try and make sure that, you know, everyone has the best and first choice that they want when it comes to choosing their student accommodation. You will have your own room, so maybe it's not like some countries where you have dorm style room. You will have your own personal space to live and work in. You might have a shared kitchen and things like that, but you will have your own space if you're in your student accommodation. And really importantly as well, and I know this from having travelled and having worked overseas, you know, the importance of thinking about safety. Wales is really safe place to live. We have some of the safest cities in the UK. And as well as that, our student satisfaction scores are really high. So people don't just come here because it's safe and affordable. They enjoy the experience as well, whether that's the academic experience or the lifestyle experience as well. And we have 4 of the top 20 universities rated for student satisfaction are in Wales. And then obviously, the equally important part is the academic side. And we do have world-renowned courses. I'm listing just a few here, but there are many more. And I'm sure our representatives will tell you more about their individual strengths later. But courses like International Relations at Aberystwyth, Ocean and Marine Sciences at Bangor, Art at Trinity Saint David, Biosciences at Cardiff University, Sport at Cardiff Metropolitan, and Film and Animation at the University of South Wales are just some examples of where we have really sector and world-leading skills that we can teach people, and academics to teach them the subjects as well. But it's not just what you learn, as I've written there. It's about how you learn. Now, you will hopefully recognise some of these faces if you've been following this series. And I wanted to bring these up because they illustrate how we teach in our universities, because it might be different to what you expect or different to what you're used to. So these are some of the questions, and I talked at the start about how impressed I've been about the questions our students have asked and that have been posed by our experts in their subjects. But these are some of the questions that have come out of the Live from Wales series so far. Things like, you know, how does Facebook generate so much money without selling anything, and can we make an Iron Man suit? I mean, important questions, but they're not just interesting general questions. They're interesting questions that help us learn more about the subject. So in this case, this is Cardiff Metropolitan's example, where we talked about big data and artificial intelligence. A great question next, is it better to be an ant or a duck? I don't think we ever got, you know, a firm conclusion on that, but it's a great thought process to think about what kind of groups we want to work in, what kind of communities we want to be part of when we're doing a management and marketing strategy. Should we stop taking holidays? Now, a lot of us maybe are very keen to start taking holidays again as we can, you know, as the world kind of opens up over the next year or so. But is it the right thing to do? Is it environmentally practical? Does it impact on cultures unfairly? And these are the kind of philosophical, almost level discussions we had around tourism. And then finally, can an item be functional, beautiful, and ethical all at once? Now, this is a question that, well, it kind of blew my mind when we were talking about it, but it all goes into the process of meta design, how we design objects, why we design them. And that was a topic discussed by our University of Wales Trinity Saint David expert at the very beginning of the series. And the reason these questions I think are really interesting and important is because, like I said at the very beginning, it's not just about coming to Wales and to be told something about a subject that you're interested in. It's about coming to Wales and finding out more and driving your own learning and pushing forward the learning around the subject with your lecturers, with your seminar leaders, with your fellow students, and making sure that, you know, you're not just taking everything in like a sponge, but you're also adding to the conversation and come up with new ideas, because that's what makes subjects become enriching and what makes people passionate about what they do. Okay. Just a very quick point here, in case anyone wasn't sure about how university degrees are structured in Wales. Undergraduate degrees generally run for 3 years, and a master's degree then follows for a single year afterwards. So perhaps in difference to other countries, it's quite a quick way to get from having no higher level qualifications or no higher education qualifications to having a full master's program. So you can go from that in 4 years, which is quite a quick way of doing it, which again means you can go more quickly into developing your career, and also because you're doing fewer years in university, it also saves on tuition fees. And I won't talk in too much detail about scholarships now, because I know each of our universities will have things to say about their individual offer, but just to say, we in Global Wales, we have our postgraduate scholarships, and we also have Achieving Scholarship Programme for postgraduate level learners. But like I said, the international staff, they will know everything you need to know about taking advantage of their scholarship offers. So once you've identified your programme, talk to them and they'll tell you all about it. Okay, last little bit then, just talking about student life again. I think one of the things I gained most from, I mean, I'm from Wales and I studied in Wales, but one of the things I gained most from being a student, as well as the academic side of it, was the friends I made both on my course and outside of it. And all of our universities have strong students' union, which is kind of like the place you go to socialize and also to find people who might have shared interests with you. So when I started university, I immediately tried to find a football team to play for, because that's what I've done pretty much my whole life. And your hobby might be Pokemon, your hobby might be chess, it might be books, it might be cooking, it might be anything. But I can guarantee if you look long enough through your university students' union, you will find a society or a group that are also interested in it. And that's one of the most important things you can do, because if you're going to come all the way from Vietnam to Wales to study, it would be a shame to just meet very few people. So really make the most of the kind of social opportunities you have. Make those connections, because they can be important for your personal well-being, but also to make you more aware of where you are and give you a better chance to see more things. And also, professionally, it's a great way to build your professional networks before you return to work. A lot of our courses offer things like study abroad. I've mentioned sport already, and like I said, make the most of the student life by travelling while you're here. Enjoy Wales, but also enjoy the rest of Europe as well. And perhaps the most important message is there is international student support at every university. There are people who are dedicated to making sure that you don't just succeed in making your application, but succeed also in your course, that you're happy, that you're well settled. It can be a big lifestyle change to move to another country. I've lived in other countries before, and I know for the first little while it can feel quite complicated and difficult while you're learning little differences of culture. And our university teams are all there to support you, because we don't just want you to study, we want you to succeed. We want you to enjoy what you do, and we want you to get the absolute most out of the experience. So make the most of that pastoral support as well. And remember as well that in the UK and in Wales we have a national health service to provide for all your healthcare needs, and in Wales we have free prescriptions, which is always good to know. And then finally, you'll be hearing from some of our students in just a minute. But have a look at our website and find out about more of the students who've come from Vietnam to study in Wales and what they have to say, or anywhere else in the world really, and see how they feel about coming into it and seeing Wales from an outsider's perspective, what they felt was helpful, what they enjoyed. Okay, last little point then, just a quick run through of the guide before you make your applications. So first and foremost, choose the course you want in the university you want. So find that balance between your subject and your lifestyle preferences and your hobbies and your passion. Find it all, and then find the university offers the best match for it in Wales. Check the academic requirements and the English language requirements. Have a think about second point there, the tuition fees, the living expenses, and make sure you understand what all of those involve. And also point 3, look out, and see what further support is available from the universities in the form of scholarships and things like that. And finally, make sure you make the most of the university's knowledge. There are admissions staff, there's international officers who will help you all the way through the process, and they want you to succeed. They want to have you here. We love having students from all over the world. In Wales, we have many students from Vietnam, but I think we have in total over 130 countries represented by students studying in Welsh universities. So, there's a lot of people coming from all over the world, and we love having that mixture of ideas, of cultures, of learners all coming together to make our universities a really rich place to study and, make a life for yourself. And I'll leave you with just one quick Welsh word, which is diolch, which means thank you very much. So thank you to everyone for listening. Anything you need to know about our universities, you can find on studyinwales.ac.uk. We have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter for you to follow, or you can follow me on Twitter as well at Global Wales Bill, and you can ask us any questions you have. We'll happily find the answer or put you in touch with the person who knows the answer. So yeah, I'll say thank you very much.
Well, diolch, did I butcher it correctly?
I think that was close enough. It's a good first attempt.
How do you pronounce it? Could you repeat it once again for me?
Diolch.
Diolch.
It's a very tricky one.
Diolch.
Yeah, perfect.
Diolch.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. We definitely learned a lot from the presentation, and like just throughout the season to learn from different university. I was already intrigued from different subjects, but now to see the big picture, the whole Wales, I really do want to visit Wales one day, and hopefully whenever we get to visit Wales, we could visit you and Age University, the wonderful places that you introduced to us.
We'd love that. You'd be very welcome.
Thank you so much. And right after Bill, we have a lot more to talk about. I'm sure we have guests who have experience studying abroad in Wales that could tell us so much more about their international lives over there when they study abroad. And we also have university representatives. So thank you so much, Bill. And right now we'll move on to our next guest, which is chị Mai Linh Kelly. Hello, chị Mai Linh. So glad that you can join us in this episode. Would you like to introduce yourself very briefly to our audiences?
Hi, Trâm, and hi, everyone. It's great to see you all today. I'm Mai Linh, and you can call me Linh or Kelly. I graduated from Cardiff University last year, and I just come back to Vietnam to work in Ho Chi Minh City right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you just came back from Wales last year, so I bet that you have a lot about Wales that you can tell us, right? I'll leave the stage to you to please just take our audiences through your wonderful, or maybe sometimes homesick time at Wales.
Yeah, I can say sometimes I feel like homesick when I think about Wales. And yes, I'm happy to share more about my experience in Wales to you guys. Bear with me, I will share my screen right now. I will share with you about my experience studying in Wales. It is not just about studying, it is more about living, making new friends, and learning new culture about Wales and about Welsh people. You can see on the screen that is the red dragon, the symbol of Wales. It is in Cardiff Castle, and if you came to Wales, I recommend you to visit Cardiff Castle and visit this dragon. I will share with you some of the experience that I got in Wales. And when I already come back to Vietnam, I feel a little bit homesick when I think about Wales. On this photo, you will see the yellow flowers, which is called daffodil. It is the symbol of Wales. And when I came to Wales, I find out that my astrology flower is daffodils. So I always think that is my destiny to come to Wales. About my studying experience, some of the keywords I brought back with me when I finished my course was diversity and inclusion. The whole time I was in Wales, I feel like the diverse and inclusive atmosphere is everywhere. I feel welcomed, and I have friends coming from a lot of different cultures and countries, and the thing is, like, they also come from different backgrounds, and the programs and the modules, they made it like in a way that you can contribute your background, but also learn from that. For example, I have some group works and projects that I work with my classmates. They have like finance background, business background, and even art backgrounds, and I have not-for-profit background. So it sounds like it's not very relevant, but somehow the course was built for us to contribute all of our strengths and learn the skill from the course. It is a combination between academic knowledge and practical skill. It is a corner of my university, the School of Journalism, Media and Culture in Cardiff Uni. And one of the best memory was about the gap time between my dissertation and my studying schedule. When I finished studying and before I have to submit my dissertation, I utilized that time a lot to do social impact programs, volunteering, internship, fellowship, and also meet up with some of the major students in the groups. So I will share with you about the fellowship and internship which I think may inspire you to find your own thing that you would love to do. After I finished studying, I applied for fellowship, which is the short course hosted by Wales Cooperative Centre, and it is for 10 fellows who study social science but care about like giving back to Wales community. At that time, I did a project that focused on survivors of human trafficking because it is directly related to Vietnam and the UK. And also during the time of the intensive fellowship in 5 weeks, I had the chance to work with local authorities, with Wales government, listen from different founders of social enterprise from Wales and the UK in general. And also I had the chance to go to local communities to do projects. In the photo you saw on screen, it was one of the thing we call kindness hackathon that we gather local authorities and leaders of a place in Mid Wales to find initiative to help local people deal with mental health problems after the pandemic. Besides, I think the experience I got through the fellowship and the knowledge I have after the course helped me to got an internship in WCDA or the Wales Voluntary Action Council, and they are one of the biggest NGO in Wales. And I think it is a very good opportunities for me to apply to my future career path. And also about the mature student groups, I think it is a very good part that you can join a lot of different mature students who are studying either master course or PhD course, and you can go out for a drink or dinner or lunch and then talk about things and make a lot of friends. And the last thing I want to share is about just random and daily normal moments in Wales that I remember. I remember that Wales have a lot of local farmer market. I went to the local farmer markets and I really love it because I feel like somehow it's really close to my heart, and it reminds me of Vietnamese culture a lot, that somebody has something, bring it to the market and sell it to local people. And also I love talking with people like Wales people that I told you that they are really, really friendly in a sincere way. Besides, we have a lot of friends from diverse culture, but Wales people are really friendly, that you can feel their vibe when you talk to them. The last thing is about the local life, which includes a lot of sports. So during the year, you will see a lot of sports like rugby and football match, and you can go to the Principality Stadium to enjoy the atmosphere with everybody. And these are some of the photos, my traveling photo in Wales. You can see the Rosalie Bay, which is a place it's just nature. And if you live in Cardiff or you live in any city in Wales, you'll feel like, yes, you are living in a city, but just step out of that, you will be immersed in all beautiful nature. And that is the thing that I love the most about Wales.
Thank you so much, Chị Mai Linh. It looks gorgeous, the photos. I'm jealous. I definitely have to go there now. And it's really wonderful to hear about your experience over there. And it's great that you enjoyed your time over there. But right after this, we also have another guest, a very special one. I think you also know this next guest of ours because she's also one of the students who got the Chevening scholarships, and I know that the Chevening scholarship community is very, very close-knit. So right up next with us is chị Nguyệt Minh. She is currently in Wales, so she'll offer us a little bit of a different perspective. Hi, chị Minh. Would you like to say hi to our audience and introduce yourself a little bit?
So hello everyone, my name is Minh. I'm from Cần Thơ city, about 200 kilometers away from Metropolitan Ho Chi Minh City, Ho Chi Minh. Currently, I am studying MSc Project Management in Cardiff Metropolitan University, and I'm happy to be here today to talk about my experience in Wales so far.
Thank you, chị Minh, for spending your time with us. So I've heard that you have a lot of experience with different kind of scholarships. Could you share with us a little bit about why you chose Wales? How did you win Chevening, and why particularly Cardiff Met that you chose?
I do first to tell the reason that I choose Wales, and then I will turn to choose Cardiff Metropolitan University. Firstly, for me, I am really fascinated about Wales culture and the accent here. So that is the first reason that I choose Wales. Secondly, Wales is the hub of the innovation in sustainability for an environment. So I was like searching about Wales, and I was really curious about how they are doing or running some projects in Wales. So with regard to the university, for me, the Cardiff Metropolitan University provides the top tier program in project management, which not only about the theoretical concept, but also how about the experience, knowledge from the professors. Secondly, I did research about the Cardiff Metropolitan University, and they give a lot of internship and projects from some industry, such as the Prince 2, the PMI, which is really valuable for those who want to pursue in the project management.
That is very great. So aside from the academic, quote unquote, that you have at school, what other activities that you usually do with your time in Wales?
Currently, beside my academic, I'm working the part-time for quality enhancement in my university, which is the operation of this small running project around a year. With this chance, I can gain a lot of practical experience from the projects that I work for, and also I have the chance to meet different people from different backgrounds who work as the same team for me. And besides, I joined some climate justice society in my university, which also give me a lot of chances to do some volunteer work, such as the littering week. Next week we will have the event for planting tree around Cardiff. So yeah, I'm quite excited to join a lot of activities.
That is wonderful. So I guess the extracurricular activities are one of the perks of staying in Wales. So what would you say is your favorite thing about Cardiff Met?
I can say that the people is the one that I'm really falling in love when studying here, because people are so friendly and supportive. I still remember that my first day coming to Cardiff Met University, I got lost, but then luckily I found some professor who was working at the same route like me, and he guided me to the uni and gave me a warm welcome for my first day. And besides, I do think that Cardiff Met give a lot of industry perspective for the students who are not only studying in the business school, but also the other school, that we have some fair track and activities with some industry every month. So it's also a really good chance for students to gain more practical experience.
That is really wonderful. So you have grown very fond of Wales with from time to time, right? And I've heard that you only have about another half a year, 6 more months in Wales. What would be the things that you want to do before returning back to Vietnam?
Well, I would say that like I would go with the flow now, like enjoy every moment of my time in Wales here. But definitely, I would like to visit the north of Wales because I hear from Mylan and Hillary that like North Wales is really beautiful, especially for summer. So I would like to ask my flatmates can travel, make some trip travel to the North Wales, and especially like to strengthen our relation, like friendship, and to build it like a long-term friendship. Yeah, before going back to Vietnam.
That that sounds very delightful. And so I see a common theme between you and Chị Mai Linh. You both say that you adore the people over there. So not only the people from Wales, but what about the community, the Vietnamese student community over there? Do you guys usually meet up? Do you have any activities over there?
Yeah, well, definitely we usually hang out with some Vietnamese scholar in Wales at the weekend. Like we gather and cook together, especially in the special occasion like Christmas. Last Christmas, yeah, we gather to have some Christmas party, and I think that is where my first time really enjoying the Christmas and know how to celebrate Christmas. But thanks to chị Mai Linh, yeah, she invited me to join, and then we have the gift exchange. Yeah, some nice talk for the last Christmas.
That sounds so sweet. What about you? What about you, from your perspective, Chị Mai Linh?
Yes, I think we have some mutual friends in Cardiff, which is really like, I think they support us a lot, and I think they will be like our lifelong friendships. And I'm happy to introduce me and other friends to the community. Also, I guess as Ming shared, we had good time during Christmas last year, when we have like different dinners, a lot of dinners, Christmas dinners, yes, with different groups of friends.
How do you find a community? Like, because you're from different university, is that through a network in Wales, or do you have regular hangouts or events?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So first, the community that Ming and I was in is Chevening and Global Wales Scholarship Community, that we have like regular meetup, and I'm sure after the pandemic released the rules, we met in person more. But before that, in 2020, we had to do it online a lot. But it was good that in 2021 we did it in person, and it feels much different. And also we have some friends who are also Vietnamese, but they have lived in Wales for a long time. Like so they are very like, there are not many Vietnamese people in Wales actually, but yeah, we have some good friends. And also another communities that we have was like our classmates, our Chevening scholars from different cities who come to visit us, and from different like years. So that is how we find our friends.
Thank you so much. It sounds like you could find a tribe there, if I might call it a tribe, but like people care for each other, and that's a recurring theme, that college is what you made out of it, and you both really enjoy it. Chị Mai Linh has already done it, and Chị Ming is still there, but she loves Wales so much. So thank you, our three special guests, for the first session of the episode, for sharing more about studying in Wales and the vibrant lives in Wales. Right after the break, we'll return with more guests, university representative from different university in Wales. So we'll see you live from Wales in a few minutes. Welcome back everyone to the second session of the last episode of IFO Classroom Season 4 Live from Wales. And right here with me we have the 5 representatives from different universities in Wales. Very glad to have Megan Cooper representing Cardiff University. Hi Megan. We have Esther Liu, representative from University of Wales Trinity Saint David.
Hello.
We have Chị Cát Phương, representative of University of South Wales.
Hello.
And then we have our gentleman, Chris Kelly, representing Cardiff Metropolitan University. And last but not least, we have Karen Mai Jones, representing Bangor University. All right, so let's go and meet our first representative, and Chris. All right, Chris, it's very nice to see you again. So Chris, thank you so much for being here in this special episode of IFO Classroom Season 4. And it's very nice to see you back. We've just met Ming Liu, currently studying in Cardiff Met, and her story just makes me feel very excited and looking forward towards the course and maybe visiting Wales and visiting Cardiff Met one day. So, and I believe that many of our audiences are just like me. Can you introduce a little bit more about the School of Management and some related courses or programs which are very popular in Cardiff Met?
Definitely, yes. So Min is one of our fantastic students on our MSc Project Management course. Now she's very lucky. The program director of that course, his name is Dr. Langes. He's a civil engineer and he was involved in the design and construction of the Petronas Towers in Malaysia, so those very iconic towers in Kuala Lumpur. So he has a tremendous kind of professional experience, and that's the kind of quality of academic teaching staff that we have within the school. People who've come from that background and really know the industry and can help students to advance their career in their chosen direction. Now, project management is one of the many subjects that we offer within the management school. So we have programs in international business management, accounting and finance, marketing and digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and also in things like hospitality and tourism and events management, which we're seeing as being increasingly popular, and people are very interested in going down that avenue. A lot of those courses we include work placements. So with the hospitality courses, for example, there are lots of hospitality settings within Cardiff. There's lots of hotels, there's sports venues and music venues here. So a lot of our students can then take work experience placements whilst they're studying, so that it's really kind of practical and hands-on, and it's not just about sitting in the classroom and doing the learning in the library. The other thing is our associated school is the School of Technologies. So that's where we have all of our computer science courses, and we specialize in data science and AI, which is the session that one of our academic staff did with you recently. And that really kind of showcases some of the advanced laboratory facilities that we've got at the university, the robotics labs, and some of the really interesting research that's going on within that sector, including also computer security and games design, and some of those areas as well. So there's lots and lots of exciting stuff happening within that school. And then the other area which we're seeing is really, really popular actually for students from Vietnam is courses in TESOL, so teaching English to speakers of other languages. So students who are maybe interested in a teaching career in the future and really want to specialize in teaching English, then some of those TESOL programs are the perfect fit for them.
It sounds like there are a wide range of choices for students, and I still remember that AI lessons with Dr. Khan and you and Anh Hợp. You were right there with us as well. And our audiences were also very keen in that particular lesson. So we do have a video question from one of our students.
Hi Chris, it's so nice to hear you again. My name is Vân and I'm a student from the AI lesson with Dr. Khan from Cardiff Met in the second episode. I was really impressed with your kindness, so I'm just wondering if there are any support for international students in Cardiff Met. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Okay, that's a lovely question. Thank you. So the answer is yes, absolutely. And in fact, you know, our international student support team at the university, it's a dedicated unit within the international office, and it's a fantastic team. So I've been with Cardiff Met University for about 8 years now, and during that time we have been ranked as the top university for international student support 6 times. So it's a really outstanding team that we have, and the work they do to help our international students is second to none. And one of the things we do is help students before they arrive in the UK, so we give them lots of advice and guidance before they depart from their home country. And then once you're here, you know, you might be thinking, wow, I'm in this new country, it's a very different kind of experience and environment, it's a different education system. We have a lot of academic support advisors within our team. So if you're needing a bit of extra help with your English language, for example, or you're trying to figure out how the essay writing needs to be done, or how you should be preparing a presentation or a report, our team will help you to do that, so that you've got all of the tools that you need to be successful in your academic course, and you've got that extra guidance. The other thing we have is a really great setup on the campus. So we have accommodation available right at the heart of the campus, so you can have a private room with a private bathroom, and then you'll be around about 5 to 10 minutes walk from all of your classes, and you've got a great community of students that you're there with, and you will be walking to your classes together and everything like that. Plus you've got access to all of the sports facilities on campus, so we've got gyms and swimming pools and tennis courts, all kinds of great stuff, so you'll be able to access all of that very, very easily. Now the other thing we do is we want to ensure that, of course, at the end of your program, you are very, very employable, right? So you're going to have this fantastic qualification from the university. You've maybe had a work experience placement as well. You've done some extracurricular activities, have all that good stuff on your CV, right? What we then want to do is really help you to get to that next level and make you very, very employable. Now, of course, in the UK right now and in Wales, what you can do after you graduate and you finish your course, you can apply for a graduate route visa, which means that you can stay and work in the UK for an extra 2 years after you finish your course. And at Cardiff Met University, what we do is we help you to apply for that work visa. We have something called our Graduate Skills Award. So it's an extra program of activities and events that you will take part in to build your skill set, whether it's digital skills, community engagement. There's lots of different things that we do, so that at the end you then achieve, in addition to your degree, the Graduate Skills Award from the university. And if you successfully achieve that, we'll even pay for your application for the graduate route visa, which is worth about £700, about $1,000. So we will cover that cost if you successfully complete the Graduate Skills Award. So there's a whole package of stuff that happens here, and that's just one of the many reasons that Cardiff Met was awarded the UK and Ireland University of the Year 2021 by the Times Higher Education.
Thank you, Chris. I bet that our audiences are very eager to visit Cardiff Met one day. I am personally very impressed with the campus and all the lively activities that you just mentioned. And so we'll just go to the next university, because we have so many great universities in Wales, and we're going to explore them one by one. Thank you so much, Chris. So coming up next, we have a representative from University of Wales Trinity Saint David, Ms. Esther Liu, Regional Head of Business Development, East Asia. Welcome to the show, Esther. Our audiences have met Dr. Peter Springs on our very first episode of the whole series, and we've received a lot of good feedback from Vietnamese students about the lesson. So could you tell us a little bit more about Arts and Design degree course?
Yes, certainly. Although I haven't attended the first episode filming sessions, but I've looked at the learned the sessions. I've seen so many lovely faces from Vietnam students, and then they are so eager to know more about the courses around art, design, and creative industry. So that is a very good sign of the Vietnam students is looking at something more creative career and trying to make them to be more international and to be more competitive in this very competitive field. And the UK is the most reputable place, destinations for creative students to study in art and design, communication, visual art, such a kind of subject areas, where the Swansea University of Wales Trinity Saint David offer the wide range of the creative courses here at undergraduate level, postgraduate level, and even the doctoral level. So the art college in Swansea is one of the oldest art college in the UK. So it's founded in 1853. We still heritage the old way of training creative student in a small group studio, and also a lot of facilities that you've never seen. Probably you only seen it on the books or library, or in the summer magazine. For example, we have the oldest printing machines where people are print on fabric or on the paper back to 19th century. Kind of interesting place to study. And also recent UK league tables highly regarded our art and design courses overranked the best out of so many art schools around UK. So, for example, the arts design courses are rated top 3 on the Guardian Good University ranking. And also craft and design courses are highly regarded on the top 5 courses in the UK. So if you would like to choose a study in a very friendly, small group, more personal attention kind of environment, and study in art and design degrees. So the area that we covers from architecture to automotive design, car design, and also we have printing and surface design, where you can discover so many new materials that you can work on to design good patterns. We also provide first-class, world-leading design companies industrial links for your degree studies. So majority of the students have opportunities to be involved in a live project. For example, McLaren's car design company having a small project with our current student, and also the biggest fashion manufacturer H&M and brand company also giving a small project for our students to work on. So there's so many opportunities for students who are really interested in the art and design area. So I think that's most of the information that I could provide, but also will invite you to contact us, and then if you have any questions.
Yes, indeed. And so if our students want to study in University of Wales Trinity Saint David and they would like to apply for scholarships, could you tell us a little bit more about what are those scholarships offered to international students?
Certainly, we are the university who are really kind of putting student needs in the center of our focus. So we know a lot of international students have a small budget to finish a very high in the UK. So in that sense, we offering different scholarship scheme to support students. For example, we have a £5,000 per year scholarship deduction for a student who are keen to finish a doctoral research degree at University of Wales Trinity Saint David. And also we're giving £3,000 per year to students who are applying to our postgraduate study at University of Wales Trinity Saint David. This year is our 200 years bicentenary celebration year. So the university also giving a generous scholarship to all students up to £3,000 to support their study in the UK with us. Scholarship that you can find out on our main website.
Thank you so much, Esther, for very informative insights. And right now we'll go to the next representative from Cardiff University, the one we have just met just 2 weeks ago, Miss Megan Cooper, International Officer of Cardiff University. Hi Megan, it's really nice to have you back here. And so we just want to hear from your perspective. What do you think is the thing that set Cardiff University apart from other Welsh institutions?
Hello, thank you for having me again. And that's a really good question. And of course, students from Vietnam will have a great experience in all 8 of the universities in Wales. But what really sets Cardiff apart from other Welsh institutions is that we are the only member of the elite Russell Group in Wales. We're based right in the heart of the city centre. And according to the QS University World Rankings, we are the highest ranked Welsh institution. Our current ranking is 151st in the world. We are also one of the largest universities in not only Wales, but also the UK. We have over 30,000 students at Cardiff, but over 8,500 of those students are international. So students that come to study with us at Cardiff will have a very diverse and global experience. They'll have the opportunity to meet students from all over the world. We also have a very vast range of courses available at Cardiff. So we've got over 350 courses to choose from, and many of those courses are consistently ranked within the top 5 and the top 10 courses in the UK. And at Cardiff, we have a real emphasis on the quality of our teaching. So you will be taught by world leaders in their subjects. We also have big emphasis on degree recognition and also employability support. So many of our programmes across undergraduate and postgraduate levels of study have got embedded work experience and internship opportunities. So our students really have the opportunity to put what they've learned in the classroom into practice in the real world. We also really recognise the importance of student support at Cardiff University. We have in-sessional language support. We also have an international student support team. We have careers support, and we also have academic support. So each student in our courses will be allocated a personal tutor. We've also got one of the largest and most active students' unions in the UK and in Wales, and we're consistently ranked among the top 3 students' unions in the UK. So students that study with us have lots of opportunities to get involved in extracurricular activities outside their studies.
Thank you so much, Megan. It sounds very lovely that we have a lot of support from the school. And from the last lecture that we have with Matt Swain about journalism, it was a very, very vibrant Q&A session. It could go on for hours if we didn't have a time limit. And we have received an immense feedback from our audiences that they really, really loved that class. And so we have a video question from one of our students that sent in.
Hi, my name is Lianan and I really enjoy Maths 1 lesson about journalism and magazine cover. I want to know more about School of Journalism, Media and Culture, especially some available scholarships because I have intended to study abroad in this field and the UK is one of my first choices. Thank you so much for the amazing lesson and hope to hear from you soon.
Sure, that's a really, really great question. And I also really enjoyed Matt's lesson as well. It was really, really interesting. So the School of Journalism, Media and Culture at Cardiff University, we have brand new and purpose-built facilities. And the school is located right in the heart of Cardiff city centre. And it's right next door to national media companies such as the BBC Wales. So this location really helps us build stronger links with industry, and this helps enhance our students' employability by providing direct access to major media organisations within journalism and cultural industries. The facilities within the school are amazing and students have got access to all of our facilities within the School of Journalism. We have 4 lecture theatres, which includes a 300-seat lecture theatre. We have 5 seminar rooms. We have a dedicated library within the school. We have 6 newsrooms, we have TV and radio studios, and we also have editing suites. So students can get involved and book those rooms free of charge, where they can practice their practical skills and really simulate real life experiences. The School of Journalism, Media and Culture is also a very international school, so students will have the opportunity to meet students from all over the world. And there's a real particular focus on supporting our international students. So the school itself also offers in-sessional language support. So if students need more support or they would like additional support with increasing their English language, then there's lots of opportunities to do that within the School of Journalism, Media and Culture at Cardiff University. And of course, our rankings also makes the school a great opportunity for students to study courses in journalism, media and culture. So our international reputation is really highlighted through this prestigious QS World Ranking, where Cardiff University is ranked 5th in Europe and 23rd globally for courses such as communications and media studies. So it's really high quality teaching that we have at Cardiff. In terms of our scholarships, we have scholarships available for students from Vietnam. So we have something called the Vice Chancellor's International Scholarship. And a number of our journalism, media and culture programmes are eligible for this scholarship. The scholarship is an automatic scholarship. It's worth £2,000, and as long as students from Vietnam meet the entry criteria, they will automatically get this scholarship. So there's no application form, it's not a competitive process, and that's across undergraduate and postgraduate courses. And then of course we also have the Global Wales Postgraduate Scholarship at Cardiff, whereby students can apply to receive a prestigious £10,000 scholarship to study a full-time master's programme with us at Cardiff.
Thank you so much for the information. And right after this, we'll have a representative from Vietnam for University of South Wales that could tell us so much more about the direct application for scholarships. So hi chị Kat, as a Vietnamese who works in an industry that you help a lot of our students to apply to scholarships in Wales, what do you see as one of the main obstacles, or what do Vietnamese students usually struggle with during their application for scholarships, or are there any common themes that you see frequently?
Okay, so actually, in my opinion, there is no difference in terms of the entry requirements or the requirement for the scholarship between the Wales University and other university in the UK. To be honest, the entry requirements only different based on the course or the program that the student apply to study. But I could say that it is not always easy for most Vietnamese students to meet the English requirement for entry. Maybe because you see English is not our mother tongue. So my advice for them is that they should try to improve the English and by trying to enroll into some IELTS preparation courses as soon as they have a plan to study overseas. And if they want to apply for the scholarship, of course they need to prepare a very good personal statement, because recently now a lot of university they will consider the student based on the personal statement for the scholarship. On the other hand, just a plus point is that I could see there are some reasons why Vietnamese students they are quite reluctant to apply to Wales University. I could say maybe because the Wales is not really familiar to Vietnamese people. I usually was asked by some students or even their parents that if the people in Wales can speak English, or if they could communicate with the people outside the university in English, or if the people there are friendly, blah blah blah. So I hope that with this IFO Classroom series, after watching this one, they could have better understanding about Wales and have more confidence in the university in Wales. Yeah.
Thank you, Chị Kat. And as you mentioned, IELTS and English is very important. That is why IFO is here, and we're very glad to have this series, not only for them to experience the classroom from Wales, but also all the while learning and practicing listening English. We do have received another video question from one of our students that sent in to our fan page.
Please let me know more about the top-up and master course. How can I join this course, and are there any requirements when joining this course?
Okay, so for maybe some of the audience might not understand what is the top-up program, so I would like to provide some explanation about top program. Actually, the top program is the one-year program that is built for students who complete 3 years of study in Vietnam or in other country in terms of the university, 3 years of study at the university, or the student who finish their 3-year diploma or higher national diploma, that then they can choose to transfer to UK and study 1-year program, which is called TOP program, and then they will get the UK bachelor degree. After they complete UK but the TOP program, then they can move to master degree. So this pathway is very popular in Vietnam, to be honest, because I have a lot of Vietnamese students choosing this course, and why? Because they only need to study 2 years, and then they have the UK degree in terms of bachelor degree and master degree. So you asked me what is the entry requirement and what the student need. So like I have just explained, the student will need to finish 3 years of their university in Vietnam. So but on their transcript, it have to show that they finished 3 years already, or if the transcript doesn't show it, then they will need to letter from the university they study in Vietnam that can confirm that they already complete 3 years. Then they can move to study with us for the top program, and we have a wide range of the top program for them to choose. In terms of the IELTS, so we will consider the student who have the IELTS at 6.0 with overall with no band below 5.5, but they could if they don't really meet the IELTS, then they can choose to study pre-sectional English course with us, or they can take the entrance English with us also. If they don't really have the IELTS, they can take the entrance English with us, and it's the online entrance English. They can come to our office or any agents in Vietnam to apply for. And at the moment, I just would like to share a very great news about this package, because we offer a scholarship up to 8,500 British pound for the both program, top program and the master course. So the student will have 2,500 British pound scholarship if they apply for the top program. When they move to the master program, we will offer the student another 6,000 British pound scholarship for them.
Thank you so much, chị Kat. Definitely, I think that the student who asked this question will have a better idea on how to apply and how to better prepare himself for this. Thank you. Okay, so now we are meeting with one of our last guests of this episode, Ms. Karen Mai Jones, representative from Bangor University. Hi, Karen. May I ask you, what is the thing that you are proud of the most about Bangor University?
Wow, what a great question. So, so many things. Actually, I'm Welsh, and so I'm really proud that Bangor University is a Welsh university. I'm also proud and amazed by the location. You know, we are at the foot of the Snowdonia mountain range, right on the seashore. It's really a breathtaking location. And from an academic and university perspective, that means that we're in a fantastic location for students who might be studying environmental sciences or ocean sciences. We've got field trips on the doorstep, you know, really easy access to the sea, to the mountains, to the forests. We have our own botanical gardens, our own research farm. We've even got our own natural history museum at Bangor. So I'm really proud of those aspects of the university. But for the other courses as well, we are one of the top universities in the world for banking research. So I'm really proud of that. And we also have one of the oldest and largest schools of psychology in the UK. And that also makes me really proud. I think psychology is such an interesting area of study. Yeah, so, you know, I'm really proud to work at Bangor University, and I'm really, really delighted to have this opportunity to visit you virtually in Vietnam and talk about Bangor University.
Thank you, Karen. Although we only meet virtually and I haven't stepped foot to the campus yet, but I could already imagine the majestic view of it. So how does Bangor University support international students when they come there from the other side of the globe? And how do students usually enjoy their time in Bangor?
Wow. You know, yeah, I look at international students with awe. You know, they're so brave and courageous and determined to come and study overseas, and often in a very different environment and culture. They're so brave. Obviously, you know, the cost of living in the UK, in Wales, is quite different to Vietnam, so we will support international students with scholarships. We recognize that, you know, there can be financial challenges, and, you know, Bangor offers great value for money, actually. Once the students get here, we have plenty of support for them as well. Bangor is not a big university. You don't really get lost here. We have about 10 to 11,000 students at Bangor, with about 2,500 international students. And the support works in two ways, really. Academically, all the students will have tutors. They may have international tutors in certain schools, and there will also be peer guides, students from other years on the course who will volunteer to support new intake. So there's a lot of academic support, but then of course we also have an international support team. So they will work with students while they're applying to come to Bangor. I'll work with students as well, students from Vietnam coming to Bangor, so we'll support them with any concerns or questions, and of course visa advice. Our international support team will arrange things like airport pickups at the beginning of term. So we take coaches to Manchester Airport and pick up the international students and bring them to Bangor. And once they're in Bangor, again, you know, life life can throw lemons. So, you know, if you have some problems, if you have study problems, if you have personal problems, visa problems, you lose your BRP card, our international student support team will help the students sort that out. But they're also there for fun. We know that these students are coming from all over the world. Maybe they don't know anybody in the UK. So the international support team will organise events. So a Welsh word is a tumpa. So we have a tumpa, which is actually a Welsh dance party. And the students come along and taste some Welsh food and maybe try some dancing to some traditional Welsh music. And we arrange trips around the local area, but also to places like Liverpool and Manchester. So really ensuring the students feel valued and warm, and they can make friends easily.
Thank you so much, Karen. It sounds wonderful and it sounds so much fun. And I really hope I get to be there and try the, what's the dance called again?
The tumpa.
Tumpa. Okay, let's hope that in our next season of IFO Classroom or of IELTS Face Up, when we get to go to Welsh, we'll get to try tumpa. Well, thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we've heard from all 5 representatives from different universities in Wales and also the 2 students who have been studying in Wales. Now I would like to ask you, our representatives who have been following this season, how do you feel about Vietnamese students and how do you feel about this live classroom from Wales? You go first, Bill.
Yeah, I think it's been a really great experience seeing all of our students being really enthusiastic about their studies and about the subjects they could be learning about in Wales. And I really hope that everyone who's watched the programme has understood how excited we'd be to have them join us and study in Wales. I hope they know that there's a huge choice in terms of where they choose to study, what they choose to study, the kind of lifestyle they can enjoy, the kind of environment they can learn in. And I guess I just want everyone to be really aware that, you know, we're full of options here for people, no matter what they want to pursue in terms of their study. The support is there before, during and after your study, and we just can't wait to see people come and study in Wales.
Thank you so much, Bill. What about you, Chris?
Thank you. Well, the online classroom experience for us was fantastic. So we had a really great session with the students who came to learn more about AI, and I'm really excited for some of those students to come and join us here in Cardiff, because the questions resulted in a really great debate and discussion about the subject area, and that's what we want to recreate in the real classroom here in Cardiff. So we'd love to see some of those students being able to come and study with us here.
Indeed. And I do remember that one question about the Iron Man suit. So maybe one of our students might join Cardiff and make that suit, make Travis. What about you, chị Kat Phương?
I also attend one class of the University of South Wales conduct the classroom with the Vietnamese students, and I found that I really interested in the question that Vietnamese students raised to our lecturer, and our lecturer also guide the Vietnamese student, and even he also think that all the questions are very, very good. And I really want to welcome more and more Vietnamese students coming to University of South Wales. And in fact, I could say that a lot of Vietnamese students currently studying at the University of South Wales, they are really enjoy their time in Wales and the university. And they said that they receive a lot of support from the university as well. So I can assure to all the Vietnamese students that you will be welcome in Wales, especially at University of South Wales and other universities as well.
Thank you, Chipad. And last but not least, I would like to ask Karen.
It's been great to be part of this particular project. It's been great to be in Vietnam, even if it's just virtually. I've had a great opportunity to work with the Vietnamese students in Bangor, and we had the support from Miss Nock, and I think working together with her and the Vietnamese students was a fantastic opportunity to show the opportunities that are available to Vietnamese students if they decide to come and study overseas in Wales.
Thank you so much, Karen, and everyone. It has been incredible to hear from your perspective and learning more about Wales, studying in Wales, and the lives in Wales. I can't believe that is already the wrap for this season, but our audiences, please do not hesitate to reach out to IELTS Face Off or the British Council at any time if you have any questions about studying in Wales. We'll also put the information to different university down in the caption or the description below. Thank you so much for being with us, spending your time with us. Thank you all the representatives and everyone that has been joining us throughout this whole season of so many classrooms, so many interesting topics. We hope that you've enjoyed our live classroom from Wales, and we hope to see you once again in the near future. Until then, stay safe and we'll see you. Bye!